Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I know I need a shave big time. Happy Monday. It's almost September. Hard to believe. I know it's hard for me to believe. So, you never know where you're going to hear a great quote. Forrest Whitaker talks about shamans, and, that's kind of a little bit of an out there approach, but he's also an artist, so it's not surprising. And he says that shamans are everywhere, that people that can give you great advice are all over the place. Well, yesterday I'm listening to a recorded live concert of Shinedown in Asheville, North Carolina. It's the same concert that my daughter and I saw in Nashville, Tennessee. So I was listening to it because a lot of the same talk and the same songs, and it reminded me of that time. Well, the lead singer of Shinedown gives this great talk before he sings the song Cut the Cord. And the talk is about, whatever your plan A was in life, or hopefully is in life, never give up on that plan A. Do not have a plan B. And of course, he's talking about the success of this band because he came from Knoxville, Tennessee, and one of the other singers came from a small town in Tennessee, and they ended up, a very successful rock band. They've been number one rock song on Sirius XM 19 times and have now toured all over the world. And they've been together over 20 years. Their first song, the 20-year anniversary, is next year. So he's talking about they didn't give themselves an option to have a plan B. They were going to be a successful rock band, and that was going to be it. They were going to stick with plan A and plan A only. So for all of us, what is a plan A out there that you had that you gave up on? When did you decide to get realistic? There's an awesome scene in the movie Up in the Air with George Clooney where he looks at a guy and he says, "What did they pay you to get you to give up on your dream?" There's a guy who's being fired, and Clooney looks in his history, in his biography, and figures out that the guy really wanted to be a chef. And so he says, "What did they pay you to give up on your dream?" And the guy says, $28,000. He was married and had a kid, and he decided to go do what was practical. And a little piece of him has been dying every day because of that. So what's something that you always wanted to do that you gave up on because you decided you were going to be practical? What's the thing that you really wanted to do that you never took a shot at? Jim Carey took his shot because his dad didn't. He says his dad could have been a much better stand-up comedian than him, but his dad had a family and he wanted to be practical, and they still ended up homeless even though his dad did nothing wrong. That's why Jim Carrey said, I decided I'm going to take my shot no matter what. Drove down to Hollywood, lived in his car. He came from Canada. He came from nothing. He had no connections, wrote himself a check that said he would pay himself $1 million in 5 years. By the way, he buried that check with his dad. He could have cashed it because he had signed the contract to do Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. His dad never saw it because his dad passed away. But his dad never took a shot, and that's why Jim Carrey did. And it still didn't work out. So what's the thing that you've always wanted to do? Whatever it is. Paint, sculpt, sing, drive a race car, teach, scuba dive, skydive, whatever it is, there's a part of you that has been dying just a little bit because you've never done it. And once you go do that, you're going to discover a whole new side of yourself. So forget about practicality. Remember what that one piece was and find a way to include that in your time that you set aside for yourself over the next year. Figure out a way to schedule some time on Saturday, to schedule some time on a Wednesday evening, whatever it is. Make time for you to be able to go do whatever that plan A was that you've given up on. Take some lessons, figure out how to get there. Maybe it's fly an airplane. Maybe it's write a book. Whatever it is, figure out a way to do it, because then a whole new set of you is going to blossom. And pay attention when you're listening. You never know who's going to give you the next great speech. I never thought that the lead singer of Shinedown would be a guy that stopped me in the middle of my kitchen as I was food prepping for the week, and I could hear his speech and think to myself, that is a great message to give to everybody. And you can tell that he did it, and he has a very fulfilled life because he did it. He got to do what he always dreamt of. And he and the band still have a great time. And it's a great piece of advice for all of us to pay attention to do. Thanks for hopping on, everybody. Thanks for watching. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other. Have a great Monday.